Well, all right. Hello, hello. So today, I've been sitting here contemplating in between rituals about Lucifer, and a lot of the Goetian, or the greater and lesser key of Solomon demons. I've been contemplating, rethinking things, and then I landed on this thought about Lucifer and how he showed himself to me several times without me realizing it. When I was first doing my research, when I was young, a snot-nosed, researching, left-hand path going Luciferian, not knowing, I don't know if y'all seen it. There was a shadow. Y'all didn't see that. They walk through my house all the time. I smell them and feel them all the time, demons. But anyway, when I was a snot-nosed left-hand pather, not knowing what that was or what that even meant back then, I was in my late 20s. I was back in 2014, 15-ish. So, when I was reading The Greater and Lesser Keys of Solomon, when I was reading Aleister Crowley's books, Liberal and Codex Magica, and I was reading Liber 777, and there was another book that I was reading, I cannot say that, Legmonton. I'm going to look it up, and I'm going to try to pronounce it, and I'm going to tell y'all what it is. But I was reading all of those books back then, learning about magic while I was practicing hoodoo, mind you. I had all kinds of experiences with spirits, and, but what popped out at me, being the brainwashed person that I was at that time still, because when I was practicing hoodoo, I was also reading the Bible. I was reading the Psalms a lot. I was reading the Old Testament, the New Testament. I was reading a lot of different things at the time, not only to research, but to also help me with my magic, and to understand who and what I am as, a magical person, or I don't want to say entity or deity, because I ain't either one of those, a being, whatever. But when I was first after full-fledged looking for Lucifer, I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to cross magical arts. I wasn't supposed to practice hoodoo while trying to look for Lucifer and reading the Bible and doing all this stuff. I didn't know that back then. But how Lucifer presented himself and his legion to me back then was some scary shit, man. It was some scary stuff. I was like, what the fuck? They're after me. So, I was laying in the bed one day. It was quiet. Kids was at school. And I was just laying there. And I had this visualization, this premonition. And I could see it clearly. And I was laying in the bed and I looked up. And there was, a man carrying a skull, and then another man with a banner that had a skull on it, and it was just like, oh my, what am I seeing? And I literally put my head under the covers and was like, oh no, they are after me. I was scared shitless. Okay, I was scared. I was like, because I've never had that type of visualization before. I could always see or feel spirits. I was familiar with them, especially Papa Legba. We were tight. Me and Legba were tight. I used to dance for him. I made his veve and would dance around it, and I built an altar for him, and I was doing all kinds of, magical practices, working with Marie Laveau, and I was doing all that while looking for Lucifer at the same time. So, that's the first encounter with the Legion. The second encounter, I was laying in bed. I was quiet. Everybody was asleep. It was on either a Saturday or a Sunday, because anytime my kids was at home, husband was at home, it was a weekend. Everybody was asleep, and I'm up, and I had this visualization of a man hovering over me, full body armor, gold, handsome, And I mean, he looked good. Had black hair, kind of laid to the side with a crown on his head with all kinds of, gemstones in him. The one that, stood out to me the most was the ruby one that was right there on his crown right there. And then his armor was gold, and he had all kinds of armor and jewels encrusted and burnt into his armor. He had a sword too. And at first, I thought it was the angel Michael, but it wasn't. It was not that wasn't an angel at all. After realizing what angels really look like and going reading in the Bible and Isaiah and Daniel and all that stuff, that's not what an angel looks like. The Bible describes in full what an angel truly looks like. That was not an angel. And I was gonna scream, and he said, "Don't scream." So I didn't. That was the first time Lucifer came to me. The second time Lucifer came to me, that same figure or being was standing right in my living room. And we had moved from one place to the next. And yeah, baby, put that back. Take it outside. And this is when I stopped. I completely forgot about everything. I forgot about studying. I forgot about everything, especially when me and my husband was going at it and the stuff that he was doing to me and my kids. That shit went away. So I forgot about it. So I was sitting in the living room one day. It was quiet. Kids was at school. And this same being with, the armor, encrusted jewels, the crown of gold with all kinds of jewels encrusted in it, sparkling, beautiful, just... my gosh, just a beautiful aura around it. That was Lucifer again. And then I picked up back from where I left off in Hoodoo. And was working with Marie Laveau and talking to Papa Legba and looking into Leviathan and who Satan is and who Lucifer is. I was gone. I was just trying to do my research. And then fast forward to 2020, Lucifer presented himself to me in full. Then everybody was asleep. It was at nighttime. Husband was asleep, kids was asleep, and telepathically I connected with Lucifer. And this was after he introduced me to Clownak, after I fully went full-fledged Luciferian at this time, back in 2020. I wasn't practicing any more hoodoo. I went straight to Lucifer, and I renewed my pact with him because I forgot about that back in 2020. So I asked Lucifer, I said, "What do you look like? What do you really look like?" So he showed me. He showed me exactly what he looked like. The first time during that time in 2020 was I was laying in my bed, just there talking to Lucifer telepathically. He came to me as a robed figure, wearing a black robe, cloak, in mist, and he slowly turned to only where I could see his nose, the profile of his nose, with the cloak hanging over his face. Okay? Then he turned around some more, and he showed me his full face. He took his cloak off of his head, his whole eyes all burnt. Was I afraid? Nah, I wasn't afraid. Not at that point. I wasn't afraid to talk to Lucifer anymore. I wasn't even afraid to see him. And I actually reached out. And he let me touch him. He was burnt. Oh yeah. Burnt him up. And I asked him, I said, "Why did he do you like that?" Lucifer knew exactly who I meant when I said he. Why did he do you like that? Lucifer said, "Because I love man more than he does." I love man more than he does. I love man more than he does. I was like, wow. So then, time goes by. I'm contemplating. I'm talking to Lucifer, and I'm researching my demons, Clown Neck and Paimon and Belial and Leviathan, and I'm full-fledged Luciferian, and I'm doing nothing but demonic magic. I'm working nothing more with demons and demons only at this time. And then the second time Lucifer came to me, I asked him, what you look like? He came to me again. And I started talking to him more about my husband too. He told me I am what you need me to be. When I said, what do you look like? He knew exactly what I meant. And I didn't mean physical appearance. Who are you? Was basically what I was asking. He knew what the fuck I was asking. So at that time, he showed me him. But he came to me as a priest. You know what the Vatican looked like with the hat, the fish hat or whatever? When the Vatican is dressed completely up. Not in the archbishop gear. I'm talking about with the Vatican when he's dressed completely up with his hat on. Or whatever you call that. And then he's all adorned with white and gold trim and stuff like that. The Vatican. That's the Vatican. But Lucifer came to me as the Vatican wearing red and black. His face was pale. His eyes were white. And he just popped up. I just let my vision slide while my eyes closed. I just cleared my mind. I cleared every thought. I cleared everything. I centered myself. I grounded myself. And I prepared myself for what I was about to see. And all I saw at first was nothing but white fog. And then all of a sudden, pop, there's Lucifer. White eyes, gray skin, Vatican wear. He came to me as a priest, basically telling me, I am who you need me to be. Whatever you need me to be, that's what I'm going to be. I must be something kind of fucking special for Lucifer to show himself to me. And for him to chase after me and spank my ass and let me know that I'm going on the wrong way. Because he's been calling me my whole life and I never realized that. He's been showing himself to me my entire life and I never knew. Until, here the last few years. So, I have a very close relationship with Lucifer. Very close. Very close. I love Lucifer. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love Lucifer. I love him. I do. But the cause of it is just surface for some. But for me, that shit runs deep. Deep, 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 deep. But anywho, that's my experience with Lucifer and him showing himself to me when I was ready. See, when I was ready, when I was prepared, when I was ready. Demons not going to show you them and what they truly look like until you are fully, mentally, emotionally, and physically ready, spiritually ready to see them. You're just not, because you're not going to be able to perceive. You're not. But no, why Christianity, Baptist, missionary, Episcopalian, whatever they want to call it, Seventh-day Adventist, I'm not knocking y'all. I'm not knocking none of them. But I want to talk briefly about why I follow Lucifer. When I was younger, I followed after the church. I did what they told me to do. I went to choir practice. I went to choir rehearsal. I got baptized. I was going back and forth to one auntie's church and then the other auntie's church and one family's church. I was just church, Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, church. And as a child, we're taught to pray. We're taught to say our prayers before bed. Now lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. But as a teenager, I got extremely curious after watching these Christian folk, Baptist folk, cussing each other out in the parking lot, gossiping about people's lives and gossiping about the clothes and having sex with the deacons and the deacons molesting the children. And one of them children was my auntie. Yeah. Okay. The fuck? So, I prayed more as a teenager. As a teenager who was abandoned by her mother, raped by her mother's boyfriends, family members they always chose my cousins over me. I was the quiet one, I was always quiet. I was quiet. I was always observant. I wasn't always the one that was going to speak or say any damn thing. I was more observant. And they thought because I was quiet, I was stupid. No, they taught me a lot of shit. They just don't know it. You watch, you learn, you watch, you learn, you watch, you learn. But my reasoning behind following Lucifer, after all this shit is said and done, this entire life lesson that I had to go through, which I understand why now, is because none of my prayers were answered. Prime example I have. My mother was never there for me. She abandoned me. She left me. She was a drug addict. She was a prostitute. Growing up being called a crackhead baby and you was a crack baby and blah, blah, blah by the neighborhood kids. That's not okay. And I was one of them motherfucking kids. Oh, you a crackhead baby. You was a crackhead. You was born a crackhead. Blah, blah, blah. So as a teenager, I prayed to God. Adonai, or whatever you want to call him. And I realized this late in my early 20s. None of my prayers were answered. Not one. Not even one. Not even one. I learned this the hard way too. The more I prayed, the worse things got for me. The more I prayed, the worse my husband treated me. The more I prayed, the worse my children behaved. The more I prayed, the worse my life would get. The more I prayed, my mother got sicker. The more I prayed, my mother died. The more I prayed, my grandmother got sicker. The more I prayed, my grandmother died. The more I prayed for family members, the sicker they got. The more I prayed to Adonai for this and this and that, the worse shit got. Which is why I don't follow him anymore. Fuck him. Fuck God. I'm going to say it. Fuck God. Fuck him. Because if I had known then what I knew now, if I had known who I was then versus who I am now, ain't no way. No way. No way. No way. No way. Ain't no way. Yeah, I said it. Fuck God. And I'll say it again. Fuck him. Fuck God. Adonai. Fuck him. The more I prayed, the worse my life got. The more I prayed to Adonai, God, Jesus, the more I got my ass beat. The more I prayed for God to help me up out of that situation with my husband, the more my husband beat the shit out of me. The more my husband beat the hell out of my kids. The more my husband mentally and emotionally bashed me. So, one day, this is all the way up until 2011, I sat in the bathroom. Bruises on me, my arm, my legs. My husband beat the shit out of me. I cried. I said, Lucifer, Satan, if you get me out of this and you get me away from him, I will worship you for the rest of my life. Whew, fast forward. 1 year later, 2012 of August, me and my children, because my husband beat me, in his semi-truck, choked the shit out of me, threw me around like I was a motherfucking rag doll. 2012, I found myself in a women's shelter with me and my 3 children out of that motherfucking situation. Had me a nice place within a month, a car within 2-3 months of being there, in my own place after, and didn't have no money, didn't have not one birth certificate, didn't have no motherfucking social security card, nothing. Not a damn thing. Lucifer heard me loud and motherfucking clear. Lucifer heard me loud and clear. And he did exactly what I asked him to, because he knew better. He knows. So, I forgot. And I started noticing in 2013, the fall of 2013, that I started losing shit just like clockwork, because I forgot about Lucifer. I was in this repetitive worry, this mind frame of worry and fear and doubt and trauma and all this stuff just going on in my head. And I forgot about Lucifer. So I started losing shit. And my ass ended up right back with my husband. I ended up right back with him in 2014. End of 2013, beginning of 2014, I was right back with him. Right back with him. And ended up going back to church because I allowed my family members to persuade me. Not, my mind at that time was fragile, and I was still doing research and not knowing what the fuck I was doing in the first place. Didn't even know. I didn't know. Being young, stupid, and still trying to learn. Oh, I know better now. You the fucking lie. I wish I would. He got me away from him this time. Next time, I guarantee you, it ain't gonna be no next time, but I'm saying if I forget about Lucifer and I let this shit go, everything would have been for nothing. So in 2014, I goes back with him, but the whole purpose of me ending up back with him was not because I wanted to be with him, but it was by accident. My mother was dying. By the time I got back to where we were beforehand, before I got back to where I was from, meaning my hometown, because we moved back in 2006, and then we moved back. So when I got that phone call from my auntie, your mother's dying, she's sick, she's not doing well, she got this gigantic hole in her leg, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. At this time, in this point in my life, I felt like I was by myself. I didn't know what to do. I forgot about Lucifer. It's like I'm losing shit and money and everything. Car payments starting to, bills was piling up. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? And I was in college trying to, get my degree to get a better job, to make out a better life. And then everything just started crashing back down, and I'm like, what the fuck? What did I do? I couldn't figure it out for shit. I could not figure that shit out. I have no idea what I did wrong. I didn't know. So my mother passed away. We moved back to my hometown, me and my kids, and I ended up back with my husband. He did me dirty. He was doing us 1,000 times worse than he did before. So back in 2019, I said that was it. I started reflecting more. I started thinking more. What the fuck did I do wrong? What did I forget? Because when I was younger, I was absent-minded. I forgot a lot of shit anyway. I was always forgetting something. You got all this trauma piled up. Yeah, you're going to forget a lot of shit because you got flashback after flashback. And then that fucks up with you fucks up your train of thought. So fast forward all the way to 2019. 2016, I was on the road This was when Lucifer was presenting himself to me and the Legion, but I didn't know then. That's when he presented himself to me as a gold, an armored soldier type with the crown. I didn't know. Back in 2017, sitting in my living room, and I sat there and watched him present himself to me again with gold crown on his head, crusted, with rubies and all kinds of diamonds and stones and everything. It's like, what the fuck was that? And then I'm practicing hoodoo, trying to figure out all these books and trying to understand magic. So 2019, I said, wait a minute, sit down. Why you keep losing shit? Why you keep gaining it and losing it? Why you keep getting all this nice shit and losing it? Why you keep having this and this and that and losing it? Nice cars. I done had Benzes. I done had BMWs. I done had a Hyundai Azera brand fucking new low miles. I done had all kinds of stuff. I done had everything I could ever wanted. Everything. Went on trips. Went to Disney World. Had free stuff given to me. I had all kinds of purchases. I done had every fucking thing. Everything I ever wanted, I had it. So I sat myself down in 2019. What the fuck am I doing wrong? Why do I keep losing this shit? How am I back with this man? Why? Pop-up thought, Lucifer. I forgot about my pact with Lucifer. So in 2019, I made up with Lucifer. I cried to Lucifer. I told him I was sorry. He understood. He knew. But I didn't. And that's when he started showing me the Legion and Cloud Neck and Paymon and all of them just started calling back to back. I was getting like dreams and premonitions and all kinds of stuff about demons, and they was trying to tell me something. They was been trying to get my attention. I just didn't know, I didn't know back then. I had no clue. But I could have wasted a lot of I've wasted a lot of time and could have saved a lot of energy and could have kept everything that I had. So, man, I had a lot of shit. I had a lot of nice things. And I lost it all because I forgot about Lucifer. But anyway, this is when Lucifer presented himself to me in his true form. And after that night, my entire life changed. I started getting more money. And I wasn't doing nothing anyway, to get this money. I just started talking to Lucifer. Giving him, pricks of blood. Hail Lucifer through the house while there wasn't nobody there. Hail Lucifer in my head. Hail Lucifer. Because I had to go back and think in my mind, what did I tell Lucifer? What did I say to him? What did I promise him? I promised him that I would worship him for the rest of my life if he got me away from that man. Hail Lucifer every day, all day, apologizing to Lucifer, telling Lucifer how much I apologize, how much I'm sorry that I forgot about him. I wish I had that book. I had like this little tiny spell book that I would write my spells down in. But he said I don't even need that no more because I got some type of different ass power that I ain't even know nothing about. He'll uncover you, to you, for you, when you're ready. So I was giving him, pricking my finger with, little, what you call them damn things? It was, at that time I didn't have a lancet. I was using needles. Like my husband needed to bastard needed testosterone boosters. He needed testosterone booster. So I was taking his needles and I was pricking. I would use just like 2 of them and then sterilize them with alcohol, prick my finger and give it to Lucifer while my husband was gone. He didn't know what the fuck I was doing anyway. He didn't give a shit about me. So I drew Lucifer's sigil and I pricked my finger. Blood. Once a week. Hail Lucifer every day. That's all I did was hail Lucifer. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I didn't mean it. I will keep you on my mind and on my heart every day. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. The more I did that, the more my life changed. The more money I was making. The more my kids had. The less problems I was having. And I forget about Lucifer. Everything starts dropping. And that's what was going on. But it was something that I had to realize at that time. So he was showing me what I was doing wrong. You forget about me. You don't keep up your end of your pact. This is what's going to happen. I learned that back in 2019. Because at that time, I was aware. So what I did was I said, hail Lucifer. And then I stopped. Just to see. To test. Just to test. And I'd be damned if that wasn't it. That's exactly what the fuck it was. That's exactly what it was. I didn't uphold my end of the pact. I forgot about Lucifer. Now, 2022, I'm by myself with my kids in a whole nother state with a nice ass apartment. And I'm making my money. Hail Lucifer. That's exactly what it was. I'm safe. I'm protected. I eat good. Got me a little fucking bat wing, what they call it. A bat wing. I ain't homeless. I ain't starving. I ain't out on the street begging nobody for no motherfucking money. Nowhere to go. Because my family done put me out there and give a fuck about me. Here I am. Hail Lucifer. In 2019 to 2020, 2021 to 2022 of August. August, that's 2 years. 2 years! Do you hear me? 2 years of upholding my pact with Lucifer. And look at the hot damn, got me an Apple laptop, got me a sound system, got me a printer, got me some nice shoes, got me some nice shades. Got all the makeup I want. Working with the Legion. I'm chilling. Because Lucifer got my back. So that's my personal experience. Mine. I'm not going to speak for nobody but me. I can only tell you my personal experience. The only way you're going to experience Lucifer for your damn self if you go to him is if you take your ass to him yourself. Fuck God. Fuck him. Hail Lucifer. I will always hail Lucifer. In my mind, my heart, and my soul will always worship him. In 2 years' time, from the day I sat my ass down back in 2019 and asked myself, what the fuck did I do wrong to lose everything again, kids and all? Got my pact. Forgot it. Just forgot about it. 2019 to 2020. 2020 to 2021. August. Yeah, so that's 3 years. I say 2 years time. Going on 3. Because we're going to put this in August. August, it'll be 3 years of my life shifting completely. A 180 from the day that I set my ass down and tried to figure out what the fuck it was that I did wrong in order for me to get back on my feet. That's what it was. But see, I'm just trying to be an inspiration. I'm not telling you to worship Lucifer. I'm not finna tell you. Because you got to make up your own mind. You do. But I'm going to say this. If you really want to know the truth about your life, your truth, not everybody else's shit, because Lucifer don't even work like that. Personal level. Lucifer, talk to him. Prick your finger with blood. Hail Lucifer, thank you. Please show me the way. Open my eyes to the people around me. Help me with this, and this, and that. And then most of the time, your ass ain't even got to do shit. The only thing you got to do is talk to him. And he'll bring the shit to you. Only thing you got to do is walk through the motherfucking door. But the only way you're going to figure that out is if you do it yourself. My personal experience with Lucifer has been nothing short of fucking amazing. So, bye.